release a bit and get your mind ready to listen to everything I've got to say, please do. Right, so far we have been talking about vertical farming, obviously. We also have been talking about sustainable way to live, zero pollution, and a circle economy. Maybe we can. Okay, right, thank you. Yeah. So we have been talking about circle economy. So we have been introduced to fish, to insects. Thank you very much. Obviously to plants and to mushrooms. But what I really want to talk about today is about algae. I'm very passionate about it. So I discovered them quite recently, and the way I discover them is when I come across this very nice little startup in Bangkok. I really like sustainability, well, and we all love vertical farming. But what is quite amazing about that is, well, Bangkok is one of the most polluted cities in the world. The temperature there is 30 degrees. 30 degrees? Well, it's a perfect temperature to grow a microalgae. What type of microalgae? Spirulina. Well, everybody knows about that, right? Like super healthy, like super fashionable and everything, etc. But the sustainability in it, where does it come from? Well, it's actually coming from the way it's produced. Well, here on this rooftop, what you can see is a little vertical farming algae system. So it's on the top of a roof, that's a rooftop hotel. And this hotel, well, in Bangkok, they use a very strong air conditioning. And, well, air conditioning releases a very high concentration of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, as algae are photosynthetic organisms, well, algae, a little bit of algae, a little bit of water and carbon dioxide. And what do you have? You've got biomass and then you've got oxygen with it. And that's exactly the process of what's going on in this little farm. So you've got the carbon dioxide arriving in this little container where you've got a little bit of water, a very small amount of nutritive solution, a little bit of spirulina, and then tada, you let the stuff, and then you harvest it. And then what you do with that? Well, you give the microalgae to your customer in your hotel, and then you create some very, very nice little smoothie in the morning. And if you've got too much spirulina, well, you can create some pasta with it, and then you've got too much, well, you can resell it to people. Awesome, right? I also come across some other experiment about algae and the ways you can introduce it into cities. Well, I'm French, and yesterday I was in Paris, to take my plan, and you all, without knowing that here in cities, well, pollution is kind of big problem, right? So, you're laughing. Don't laugh, I'm serious. Anyway, this company, Fermentalgue, they've got a partnership with Suez. And what their plan, what they are going to do, they are going to create some very, very big glass full of water. Well, full of water, a little bit of nutriting solution, and a little bit of algae. And where they are going to put it? They are going to put it in some good place where there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide. And then, well, the process works from itself. What do you do with it? You just let it. Then, so the algae are going to feed from the carbon dioxide, clean the cities by all means, fix the carbon as well. It's quite cool, huh? And then, well, same process, they are going to harvest the biomass produced by the microalgae. And, well, that's slightly different type of microalgae that they are producing here. So instead of nourishing people, what they are going to do with it, they are going to heat the city. They are going to create biogas. And then, tada, we are all warm. Super. But so, yeah, it's a prototype. That's something that hasn't happened yet, but that's going to happen. So far, the prototype is 1 meter cube square. That's, yeah, 1 meter cube. Sorry for my French. And so far, it's fixing the equivalent of what hundreds of trees would fix of carbon. It's quite amazing, right? Well, I find it amazing. Another experiment, another application. Here we are in Geneva. So in the middle of Geneva, you've got a motorway that goes, well, middle of Geneva. And then you've got a bridge across that motorway. So perfect place where there is very high concentration of carbon dioxide. So what they've done here around that bridge, they just put another microalgae farm. So same process. What they do is they let the microalgae feed from the carbon dioxide. They just put a little bit of water, a little bit of nutrients in it, and then when there is a too high concentration of biomass, they harvest it, and well, they create electricity or they create biofuel. But this one, what they are doing with it, they are creating drugs. Thank you very much for your introduction on drugs, because I could not explain the process, but you done it. So, yeah, drugs. We are winter, right? And in winter there is a lot of flu. Well, maybe you know how flu vaccine are produced. Yeah, you know? Yeah, well, I did not know, and for those who do not know, they are producing in mass this flu vaccine using fertile chicken eggs. Really? Fertile chicken eggs? Well, yeah, but this process is amazingly super long. So, for example, to produce all of the vaccines that you need to, give vaccine to all of you in Italy, that takes 7 months. Just 7 months. If the World Health Organization got wrong into the strain that they are using to select the vaccine, well, you can all die from flu because we haven't been vaccinated, right? Where my points want to go with that is from the microalgae that we are using, some scientific and researchers, what they are doing is that they are actually finding a way to introduce the vaccine into microalgae to actually, heal people with it. And the process, instead of taking 7 months, that would only take 2 months. So even if the World Health Organization got wrong, well, we could still fix it, and that would just take 2 months. Cool, huh? Yeah, so algae, if you really want to know the technical part, where is a high-level antioxidant, they've got high-level omega-3 oil. For the one who are vegan, you don't need to eat fish anymore, just eat algae, right? That's exactly where it's coming from. Carbohydrate, sugar, protein, well, they are nutrient-rich. You can just eat spirulina for a whole year and you won't have anything missing in your body. You will be perfectly healthy. And a little bit more of what you can do, well, renewable fuel, obviously, animal feed, cosmetic, fertilizer, lubricant, human food, well, and the list is quite long. And of course, I'm kind of a dreamer. In China, we were talking about Beijing a little bit earlier on. It's very polluted. It's so polluted in China that they have to wear masks, oxygen mask. They have to go and pay for oxygen. Well, I was talking to you earlier about how microalgae process is working. So carbon dioxide, a little bit of water, a little bit of light, photosynthetic process, right? And then you've got biomass and oxygen. So, well, kind of an idea, don't know, maybe there is some Chinese representative here. Well, let's open a very nice spirulina bar, and then enjoy some very fresh oxygen while enjoying a smoothie. That would be cool. And, well, obviously, we have been talking about going to Mars, about Elon Musk, sorry for the French pronunciation. On his way to go to Mars, how is he going to feed himself and how is he going to clean his AQUAFARM international space water, Well, algae again, that's cool, huh? So he's going to be able to have oxygen by harvesting his own oxygen, and then he's going to be able to feed himself and have a sustainable way to live into his whatever he's going to plan to have. Thank you very much for your attention. Let's go and get some biofuel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.